required compliance with this information, as well as with all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and posted placards. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the flat metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the loose ends of the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Pull the metal out of the hood and pull start the lower lock. Open your nose sound with an end. Place the elastic band around the head. Tighten by pulling on the loose ends. Ensure your owner is working the oxygen will be flowing to the bag, even though the bag may not be
Who's there? Oh, it's the birthday boy.
Yeah.
What's in there?
Dog shit.
Open it up. What's in there? What the hell is that?
75.
Get it?
No, he didn't even make a wish. He just blew it out. Oh no.
I'm not lighting them.
Light it again. We got to redo it.
We don't have enough light.
All right, reset the lights. Action.
There's Princess Candle.
All right, blow it out, Dad. Happy birthday to you. Happy The Galaxy Restaurant. You can park here in the street? You're a rebel. What's your favorite food?
Dog food.
Dog food. That's cream of broccoli soup in Canada. Spaghetti with meat sauce. Clubhouse and fries. Hungry man dinner.
Give her kisses. Give her my kisses. Oh, that's a good girl.
Columbia High Elementary. I did 6 years there. Got kicked out of kindergarten. Some kid ate my marshmallow, man. How's it going?
You better get to work, it's gonna get cold.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I haven't seen you for like
Ever, right? She's blocking you from the camera. It's too cold.
Have a good one.
You too.
Come on over here and cut the cake. Come on.
You gonna make a wish?
Yeah. Wish that my kids are gonna be good the rest of their lives.
Yay! Well, cut the cake, damn it.
Those of you who don't know me, I think pretty much everybody does. I just want to say I'm Fritz's second favorite sister. There's only two of us, right? So we have to be his favorite. There were so many brothers that we had to survive. So yes, I'm his second favorite sister, and Bernice is his first favorite.
Ah.
Okay, I just want to say, mischievous and a troublemaker. Who does that remind you of? Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think we're all on it. Yes, it's Fred. So tonight is a toast and roast. So, first of all, we would like you to sit right there, Fred.
Official chair.
You can take your drink. We can bring you another one when that's done, but you have to sit right there.
Can't. Legal. Over the hill.
Okay, we know you're deaf.
Yeah.
Hold that up to your ear.
So you can hear what's going on.
And so to start our toast and roast, we're going to start with Gail.
Well, here's some things for Dad that he may need as an old man. Kings across the road with the audio visual. So it's got the glasses, it's got the horn, and a little megaphone for the goat.
That's good.
Oh, and pills, yeah, don't forget the pills. I don't know what's in them, don't want them. And if you're really in trouble, Dad, here's a walker. I don't know if
I might need that someday.
then we gotta walk. Okay. All right, here we go. I have to read this, I apologize, I didn't memorize it. So here we go. I'm gonna turn this around. Can everybody hear me now?
What?
Okay, if you can't see, move around so you can see what he's doing. Okay. So, wow, Dad's 75th. For those of you who don't know, Terry and I were not born into the Litzenberger family. We were totally adopted. Meeting Dad for the first time is kind of interesting. My mom and her sister, Irene, had started going to adults alone dances in Yorkton. So I came home from school on a Friday to find Mom standing with some strange man with a bad comb over. She had a bunch of makeup and ladies' clothing, and she said, "Meet Fred. Dress him up like a woman. I'll be back in about an hour." And off we go. So off we go to the bathroom. He sits down, and I start to paint up this strange man. I clearly remember painting his fingernails. He has big old man hands, and it took like 8 strokes to the fingernail brush just to cover it. Anyway, so I had to pat him up, and I had to paint his face, and he sort of looked like Mimi from the Drew Carey Show. Anyway, I grew up without a dad, and here I was in close bathroom confines with this comb-over man. And I was a little nervous, and so I babbled and talked a lot. Anyway, I got him all dressed up. Mom came back dressed up like a man and picked up the new lady. Okay? And off they went to the dance. I think I did a very good job, because if I remember right, they won first place. Anyway, the meeting of Dad got me my nickname. So being nervous and talking a lot is where I earned the nickname Magpie. And it's stuck. Dad has called me Magpie ever since. In fact, all of my artsy stuff like carvings and paintings are signed Magpie. Turns out though that nicknames are something that Fred does. Stupid, poopits, Magpie, Mumminka, all to name a few. And if all else fails, you'll get Mikey yourself. Words in their meanings in general are funny. Fred always puts a spin on things. The company Mosaic is called Mosaic. PV March is called PV Mark. I don't know why. And sometimes it's a totally different word. When I first started at Mosaic, I was living with Dad, and he likes snacks at night. So one day he came into the living room with 2 bananas, and he offered me one saying, "Banana?" I said no. He goes, "Banana?" I said no. After about 20 go-rounds, he said no, and I said banana. So now bananas are called no. And so you'll be in the middle of the grocery store shopping with Dad, and he'll holler, "Gail!" No, that means he wants bananas. When Mom married Fred, he went from a bachelor to a husband with 2 teenage kids. And we went from a single mother family to having a farmer dad. Steep learning. You're not even listening, guys. Steep learning curve.
Use your device.
I'll tell you, Lindsay, but you won't never read this shit. Okay. Mom and Terry moved to the farm, and I had stayed in York with Grandma to finish grade 12. I'd go to the farm on weekends. That first spring, he began talking about how he needed to go plow the fields and then to pick strawberries. It was early spring. The grass was just starting to turn green. Nothing planted yet, and he's talking about picking strawberries. I learned that in Dad's world, when you plow the fields, the rocks pop up and seem to grow. So we called them strawberries. Ha ha, that's funny. Thought he was teasing me. Nope. He would tell anyone who would listen to him about picking strawberries. People would actually show up to the farm with their little ice cream pails all ready to pick strawberries. They were always a little more than disappointed when he went out and showed them that they were rocks. Mom and Dad did almost everything together. He taught her how to farm and she loved plowing the fields. Dad really helped Mom in the kitchen, especially when she was making jam busters. Mom had set up Dad with a ketchup bottle to squirt jam to the pastry, and after a few, he got up and left. Mom thought he was mad or something, but no, he comes back into the house with a brand new grease gun still in the package. So he takes that grease gun out of the package and he puts it in boiling water, and then he puts it back together and he was all happy because he could suck up half a pail of jam. And then he'd give those jam busters 5 to 7 pumps, and they were just full of jam. They kind of went punk when you dropped them on the counter. And many of you had the pleasure of grease gun Bismarcks. And when Mom got sick with cancer, Dad was with her all the way. He went to all her appointments, he showed all his support in all manner of ways. He did her dressings, he helped her move around, helped her with the cooking and housework, and he vacuumed her head. Seriously, he did. Mom was doing chemotherapy treatments and had begun to lose her hair. And one day she was sitting in her easy chair with towels around her and on the chair to catch out the falling hair because it kept falling out all over. She cut it short, but it was itchy and bugging her, and she was making all kinds of noise. In other words, bitching about it a lot. And so ever ingenious Dad gets up, grabs the vacuum, and proceeds to vacuum her head. In the picture window! Problem solved. Mom told me to take care of you, Dad, and sometimes that's not easy. Dad sort of gets into trouble. But he's learned he has to tell me this stuff or I get a little upset. So he tells me, but not when it happened. And he tells me later, sometimes much later. And in Fred fashion, it sort of starts with, "Kid, you'll never guess what your dad did." You'll never guess what you did. One of his most famous episodes of trouble was revealed to me at a phone call, and it started with the standard, "Kid, you'll never guess what your dad did." Seems one day he decided to clean his car. And he did the interior, including the dash. And when he was done, "Oh, I'm going to York." So off he goes. And he told me that everyone seemed to be going so slow that day. He's passing everybody like they're standing still. He didn't see any signs, no construction on the road, nothing to indicate why everybody's going slow. And about halfway to Yorkton, he noticed that the telephone poles are kind of close together. So he starts checking everything, you know? So he set the cruise for 100. Whoa! He cleaned the dash and he flipped the switch from kilometers to miles. 100 miles an hour. 62 clicks. No wonder he's passing everybody. He said he slowed down after that. So here Fred is, Dad, 75 years old, and you have to mark an occasion like that. So Terry and I were talking, and we were coming up with all kinds of things. How can we celebrate this? A trip, a come-and-go tea, a fancy meal, and then we thought, no. Dad loves to spend time with his family and close friends, to share a home-cooked meal, to tease each other and have fun. So welcome to the Litzenberger Cookbook Potluck Supper and Celebrity-Style Roast of Fred Litzenberger to celebrate his 75th birthday. I'm hoping many of you will share some stories and poke some good-natured fun at him. Oh, and here's to Fred, many, many more, and here's something from the farm. Come here.
Strawberries.
No, just lift the box.
Full of strawberries.
Lift the butt.
Oh,
It's a real strawberry.
You might want to cut that sucker later. That's a big strawberry.
Can you lift it?
Lift it, Fred.
you can't have it either. Thank you.
Okay, I don't think that I can top that. That was like Fritz in a nutshell, like boom. So tonight is toast and roast. Gail has done her part. I invite anyone else up here who has a story or 2 or 10, because I'm sure anyone who knows him has something to tell us about him. You want to talk? Oh, and Adele's going to be the first one.
All right.
This story comes from almost, not quite before Betty, but before Lois and
Be pre-Betty.
Jerry. My late husband and I, Edwin, who most of you will have known, used to go out to the farm after we had moved away. And we'd get out there, and Edwin and Frank would have a whole bunch of plans. And Betty talked about being favorite sister number 1 and favorite sister number 2. Freddie would come to me and put his arm around me and say, "Would my favorite sister-in-law like to make supper? This is what I have pulled out." I don't want to hurt Kathy's feelings or anybody or Brenda's. That's the way it was back then.
I have a written story from Ernie and Margaret Sukanik. They were invited tonight and couldn't make it. And so Ernie wrote a story about you, Fritz.
Very truthful.
And it goes like this. Most of you probably do not know of Fred's extraordinary cowboy skills. Here's proof. In 1969, I wasn't barely born, just say that. I had a cow which had turned out to be a dud and needed a visit to the auction mart. So Fred agreed to take her to Langenburg for me. So he put the cattle racks on his half-ton truck and we proceeded to the farm where Kathy was raised. We chased her into the log barn and loaded her into the truck. She was as well behaved as a 4-H calf. Off we went to Langenburg. As we got closer to Langenburg, there seemed to be a lot of discontent in the back. There was a lot of snorting, bellowing, and head-butting. I don't know if it was Fred's driving or the rough ride of the Chevy half-ton that caused this. When we stopped at the auction barn, the snorting and bellowing seemed to be louder. Fred backed up to the chute, but the cattle racks and the chute did not line up perfectly. There was about a 4-inch gap between the racks and the chute, and guess what? She saw it and charged through, smashing the racks to pieces, and off she went at a speed of a racehorse. Fred threw off what was left of the racks, and off we went after her around the outskirts of town and the hospital grounds. I then realized a Chev could outrun a cow. For about an hour, Fred guided the truck, circling the cow, cutting her off, stopping, starting as well as a cowboy on a championship cutting horse. With me in the back with a rope, Fred escaped several charges by the cow. During one of these charges, I got the rope around her neck, and away we went to the auction barn, leading, pulling, and being chased by the cow. When we got to the yard, they had the gate open. We drove up, and in she went, chasing everyone into the alleyway. We did not stay. We loaded up the pieces of the rack and went to Fred's place to drink some much needed beer to calm our nerves. My wife probably aged 5 years that afternoon. I checked with the auction later, and they said she broke all speed records around the ring. I don't remember if there was any damage to the truck, but I know in 2018 would have had several thousands in damage. Happy birthday, Fred, and many more to come.
All right. Nobody can deny.
I'm Harold Halleck. I'm Darlene's husband from Saskatoon, and we come out visiting Uncle Fred every now and then. Last trip, I found a town secret. I thought I got to share this because this is there anybody? Gail, what year did you move here to?
2016.
2016. So this is kind of like right after you moved in, and Gail's got her dog Tassie, and out where Gail lives, there's neighbors down there that I think they have rabbits right next door to her. So Uncle Fred comes in and he lets Tassie out, right? So next thing you know, Tassie comes back to the door and Gail goes, "Did you put him on the leash?" "No, I didn't put him on the leash." So he comes back and there's this dead, beat up rabbit in Tassie's mouth. So, and Uncle Fred's going, "Gee whiz, Gail, like, what's the town gonna do? Take Tassie away?" Like he's, you ever see him get into a panic? He's all, so then he goes, "Did you ever see his face when an idea comes to his head?" "Gail, throw him in the bathtub. Throw the dead rabbit in the bathtub." So they get out the shower, they shower out the rabbit, and you got a hairdryer. So they get the dead rabbit out, and he's hair drying the rabbit. Now it's getting pretty dark out already. So Uncle Fred's looking around, and he jumps the fence over there, puts our rabbit back in the cage, right? He goes home at night, everything's good. Taz is going to be safe because police aren't coming around. So next morning he goes back, and the neighbor lady, she's in there, and she's just wailing away, wait. So you ever see Uncle Fred when he's trying to keep a secret? What's the matter? What's going on over here? My rabbit is dead. Uncle Fred, what? Rabbits die. Fred, you don't understand. I buried the thing 3 days ago and it's back in the
Happy birthday, neighbor. How you got to be 75, I will never know. A few friendly chuckles about Fred. He loves Roundup. He would sooner
He loves Roundup.
It's always mixed and ready to be used. Poor flower garden. His front shrub fooled him and grew condoms this fall. I don't beat a clock. I know when it's about 10 a.m. Fred goes for the mail every morning, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
I wonder if he knows what day it is. If I go away, I know my home is well looked after. If a vehicle drives in my driveway, he lets out a holler, even if it's my daughter. Fred and Lois used to take me to Whitewood to catch the bus. And this one time he took my car, and gosh, we made it in record time. My car was set on miles per hour. Once his security alarm was ringing, being concerned, I went over and told Fred my issue. He said, no, that comes from the town office. I argued, and finally, in stocking feet, he ran to the garage. In no time, there was no noise. Never boring or dull in our neighborhood. I never know when his house will be up for sale.
Up for sale.
What color the street lights will be. Sorry about this, neighbor. Don't be mad, I need my snow shovel this winter.
Oh, very good. Awesome.
Well, I think you all know who I am. I've been with the Litzenberger clan, or had to put up with them for well over 50 years. But I'm still here. So I guess they're not really that tough to live with. But anyway, Freddie, he is interesting, to say the least. And I guess I just want to share this little story with you of my introduction to the Litzenberger clan. It so happens that, well, I lived, according to Saskatchewan people, I lived way out in Manitoba. That's foreign country, you know, there's Saskatchewan people living on the farm. But anyway, so I called up Bernice this one Sunday to visit her, and she happened to be busy that afternoon helping her dad cut grain, which I didn't know, and she didn't tell me. Anyway, I asked her, where do you live? So she tells me, well, you know where the fairgrounds are in Landsberg, don't you? For the sports grounds. I said, yeah. She says, well, you take that road and you go west. Go west as far as you can, and then you can go either south or north. Okay. But she said, if you go south, you go through the valley and you turn west, and then I guess she told me how far to go. When I got to the yard, drive up to the yard, and good-looking guy like me coming from Manitoba. Her mom comes running out of the house, and she's hollering across the yard for Freddie to come, which I couldn't hear because the car windows are closed. Anyway, Freddie comes running and opens up the door and he jumps in and he says, drive. I said, well, where? He looks at me and he says, what the hell you come here for? That was my introduction. Funny how you're still around, eh? I don't scare off very easily. Anyway, I guess share another little story. It was, we were married for a number of years already, and Fred was still single. So, like a good sister would, she doesn't like seeing her brother single all the time. So she kept bugging him. When are you getting married, Fred? When are you getting married, Fred? When are you getting married, Fred? Well, he just kept telling her, I'm waiting until I get my money's worth. So he did get Lois, and she was a real nice girl. Everybody loved her, and I guess, yeah, you got your money's worth. So anyway, with that, I think Bernice has a presentation to make to you. You want to come?
Be nice.
Bernice is always nice. I mean, I know better, but too quiet for you.
Well, it was our 50th anniversary a few years ago, and after all the partying, we went home, and we took all the goodies and stuff back home. And we went in our garage, and everybody is got lawn chairs, we're enjoying ourselves, but I wanted to put out some dainties. And there was one kind that everybody really liked, and it was an apple turnover thing. And I'm looking for that container, wondering where it was. So finally I gave up. The next morning, somebody said, well, did you find your apple turnovers or whatever you want to call them? I said, no. He says, well, do you know? They ended up at the Lake of the Prairies. Of course, those guys were at the lake and they stole my apple. So, Fred, I have to give you something, but it would be nice if you shared this time.
Watch out for the strawberry.
Well. Thank you. That's good. Doug don't get none, because Doug was involved more than me.
Fred, you're full of shit. You know that. I can prove it. I've got evidence.
And on that note, we'll call Doug to tell some stories.
Okay, I guess I'm Betty's other half, better half, worse half, however it works sometimes.
You get half?
That's very questionable sometimes. Well, Fritzy. We're up here, we're toast and roast, and you're down there. That's the way I like it. Excuse me. Anyways, during school years, for Betty and myself, we decided that we weren't learning enough there. So we decided we'd take a day trip out to the farm to see Fritz. Wintertime, conditions were wintertime, deep snow, had to drink liquids to stay warm, and horseback riding was involved. And I never was involved in horses, we never had him on the farm and stuff like that. And Fritz decided to show me all about his horses, how well they were conditioned and stuff like that. You couldn't put your feet around them, they're wire across and they were hot. So they were huffing when they got out of the barn. But I jumped up and he says, you and Betty go for a horseback ride. So he jumped on, rode around the yard a little bit, and all of a sudden, whack, I heard this crack in the back. And he had a stick, he slapped it on the horse's ass, and away him and the horse and I went. We made it the first curve, and the damn horses, they don't know how to go straight. You make curves and people fall off. So that was the end of my damn horse ride. Fritz's love of furry, cuddly critters led to Lois making a lovely meal one time. And cute, lovely little pet bunny rabbits were let loose around the farm. How they got loose, I'm not sure. And all of a sudden, a while later, Fritz was muttering, geez, there's a lot of them around here. I see them in the bushes all over the goddamn place. What are you doing? Doug, what are you Betty doing next week? Oh, we're busy. Well, what about the week after? Why? Bring your gun. Just shut up. And so we went over there, and all of a sudden we ended up with a weekend rabbit shoot. Led to try to thin out the population. And we had a lovely chicken meal, according to Lois. And for some of her family were there, and after we were finished rubbing our bellies and enjoying the meal, she finally let loose to say what it actually was. Rabbit was actually very good.
Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer, there you go. I don't know if you guys know that Fritz is a good mechanic. We talked about one time, we were at a family function in Esterhazy, and Betty and I took the truck camper out to Fritz's. We were going to visit them for a while, so we left it there and took our car and went into Esterhazy. And Fritz is in Esterhazy also. And so I think they went back to the farm earlier than we did. And get back to our truck camper, and all of a sudden I was going to turn on some power for inside the camper and unlock the back, and God, what is it, crinkly stuff on the floor? Well, there's Keller's cornflakes all over the goddamn place, but the door was locked. How could that be? All of a sudden you open the doors, there's things falling out of it. It was a real bedlam inside the back of the truck camper. But there was no power on, it had no lights. We're trying to fumble around in the dark, two little kids. Went to the front, and all of a sudden I stumble over something. Here, there's a big blue tarp on the ground. I lifted up a V8 motor, and I said, and I was mad at that time, and maybe a little inebriated. Went up to his house, I started banging the door. Fred, get your goddamn ass down here and put that motor back in my truck. As it turned out, all he did was pop the hood, and he just had done on the back of cable off the engine that was in there. But he was really fast at getting a motor from someplace. He also denied that he was behind any of that mystery. I don't know what the heck, who it was, but I think you were the only one on the yard early enough at that time. Right? With that, just a few little ideas that I had over the years, being around quite a while. Good brother-in-law to have, always considerate of others, and I think you couldn't ask for a nicer guy to have around. Sometimes he doesn't hear so good, but that's okay. We'll put up with it. Take care, Chris. Love you.
All right.
Here so well, right? Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Well, there were 3 old guys that went out walking, and I think one of them was called Fritz, and one of them was called Eugene 1, and one was called Eugene 2, right? Longer than Eugene 2? Oh, good, I'm glad I got that right. Well, the first one said, "It's windy." And the second Eugene said, "No, it's Thursday." And the third one, who was Fritz, said, "So am I, let's go for a beer." Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah, Fred's become a very good friend of ours, of mine, and he thinks he's a very good card player. Sometimes he does win, but that's about it for me.
I've got so many stories I can't even tell them all.
Oh, good.
I got 42 minutes on my battery. Go.
My name is Elaine Cashmere, and I actually met Fred when he was a maintenance man at the hospital, was when I first met him. And we became friends. And how I met him, I will tell you. I had this nice office, carpet on the floor, because I was supposed to be the counselor, and I had this very nice office, my own bathroom. I go in to use my own bathroom, no toilet. So I call up the maintenance man, "Where the hell is the toilet?" Well, a toilet had broke down in the ward and he took my toilet. And I said, "Well, I need a toilet." "Well, no, it'll be okay, it'll be okay." Well, of course, there's just the thing there. And I said, "Well, you have to close that off, it smells." "No, I'll be all right." A little while later, I don't know how long, but I come back and he clogged it all up. I said, "Well, now how am I supposed to get a toilet?" So he comes in one day, and I wish I'd remembered to bring it. He comes in one day and he brings me this little tiny toilet that's a piggy bank. And I never did get a toilet in that office. I moved offices. Another story from work. Now this one was with Corinne Thompson. If you remember her, she was a lab technician in the hospital. And they all were sitting eating their lunch. And Fred's eating. Lois always made him such a nice lunch. And there's I'm going to say an orange, I can't exactly remember. But anyways, he's eating everything. Corinne's beside him. He's eating, peels his orange, eats it up really nice, and gets everything, closes his lunch up. And Corinne says, "Was that orange good? It looks really good. It looked really good." And he said, yeah, it was. She said, "Well, it was mine." Another thing was Gail, when she came and told us about the party, she said that we had to make a recipe out of the Litzenberg cookbook. And I got really worried because I have the Litzenberger cookbook, but I never paid for it. I can maybe cook something.
50% interest.
One other one that was with him and Lois. I went camping with them quite a bit too, and there were some hilarious times. I could tell you, he used to get this wine out. "Oh, Elaine, have some wine. Have some of this homemade wine, have a little wine." Pretty soon I didn't know who all the bees were. I had the Bernice and the Betty and the Brenda all mixed up. And then I had to go home and get the food for the supper, and I couldn't find my camper. But one time we went to Crooked Lake, down to the Crooked Lake Park, and I'm following them. He's pulling the camper, and I'm following and going along. We get down in the valley, in the valley. All of a sudden, the rug that you put outside is kind of coming out. And I'm like honking and I'm waving and he's just going. Pretty soon the rug comes right out and he runs right over it. And away we go, get down to our camping spot. So we stopped at the camping spot and I go up and I said, "Fred, you lost your rug." That was, "What rug?" "The rug that was in the back of the truck for the floor." Well, Lois was livid.
I bought that rug and I paid I don't know how much, and you went and lost it, ran over it, and all trouble. So he unhooks, goes back down the road, picks up the rug, comes back, it's all kind of tattered and torn, lays it out real nice, but there, it's good, it says. And that was it for the rug. Happy birthday, Fred. It's been fun being your friend.
Aren't you handsome?
I am surprised that somebody like that is so far away and live.
What are you eating there?
They're gonna go to hell.
Really good pierogies. Cabbage rolls.
What is it? What are pierogies called in Ukrainian?
Perahev.
Perahev and cabbage rolls?
Holubchi.
Holubchi? And
Kubasa.
There you go.
I'm very shy. Is this all?
What do you think that's in this? You're kind of
Well, I've nothing. I met Fred at an auction sale. I never met Lois. And Fred would, you know, he'd help us get stuff in and out. And next thing I met Lois. And I said, Lois, what are you doing with all these women around? Because all the women from work would go up and talk. She's, it's okay. She's like, I take them home at night. Well, thank God. Putting cards together. And I've never met a man that gets so excited over winning and losing, he gets really mad. So what we did was, because he's always playing pranks on us, so when I go home to Ontario, I come back and there's a for sale sign on my house. People stop and say, are you moving away? I went, and I know it, goddamn Fred. He's camping, so I go over there, get a for sale sign, put it on his house. And people are phoning him saying, Fred, are you selling? Where are you moving to? Well, I never laughed so hard. And then it was Halloween. And he went down to visit Terry. And I didn't do it.
For the record,
I just
eh?
watched. He has this nice tree out front. So we had to put, we had to put condoms on this tree. I don't know how many was, but the person that was blowing it up had boob on it. And then I put, not I, so I was putting all the things on the house and all over, and then we put 2 red lights at the end of the driveway. Jesus, you can't see anything. You know, you put 2 red lights. He comes home at night, doesn't see anything. He wakes in the morning, holy crap! He left those condoms on the tree. Everybody's going, what are they up there for? I said, he has safe sex. What does he do? He gives me a bag. It's kind of puffy. Gives me another bag. It's puffy. I said, Fred, what's this? That's your condoms. I said, I don't want old condoms. Yeah, used condoms. And our card players. I don't go out at night because I'm kind of an unsociable person. So I go out, someone picks me up and I turn the light on. I got a red light on my house. The door's bright red. I said, it had to be Fred. No. Eugene said, no, I hurt my leg. Eugene Gunzi, Rumba, oh, not me, you know. Well, how did I get a red light? Nobody can tell me. So I had to get my granddaughter to go up and change the light bulb. And I said, boy, oh boy, we got to get back at something. He's always talking about going out with Frida. He has a friend named Frida. So I should have brought Frida tonight. She's a little skinny. She had a little underwear on. She has long hair and a wig. I put it in Gonzi's truck. He never even knows. They don't lock their truck. And Gene Rumba goes away. He doesn't lock his truck. So he comes and tells me, there's cameras. My neighbor has cameras. So I know who did all this stuff. Not me. Not me. We have this we have Frida. And I said to Fred, do you want to take Frida. No, it's Eugene Gomsey. Well, I've never laughed. She's just a skinny old lady with like a wig on.
She's a skeleton.
Well, I thought she's a skinny woman. I couldn't even find a bra for her. She was so skinny. No, Fred is a lot of fun, especially at cards. The first time we played cards at my place, we had another lady over there, and she's very aggressive, very frisky. She wanted Fred. She kept saying, Fred, my plumbing isn't working. Get a plumber, he goes.
She started stalking him.
He went out in Shop Easy parking lot, and this one goes up, Fred, and there's Fred, gone. He says to me, she's really frisky. That's not what he said, but I did. I said, well, yeah, she is. So then she sits down for coffee, she reaches over, puts her boots on. Fred said, I'm gone. That's it. I'm gone. That was it. We've had a lot of fun with Fred. Camping, I won't say because it's that's private. Happy birthday, Fred. And may we still play cards?
We might.
Well, thank you. Oh yeah, you heard what he whispered in my ear.
Take your walker with you.
I'm not my brother. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and especially to the kids, and to my sisters and sister-in-laws and whatever, friends.
Brothers.
Everybody, period. And some for not telling me what's going on.
You never asked.
Some might not have a place to sleep. If anybody's got a spare bed, just wait. But you won't have any suitcases with you. Anyway, thank you very much, and it's very good to hear some of them good stories. And I was the angel, I didn't do any of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh my God. Well, that I don't have to open.
Oh yeah, you open that one. I mean, you have to.
Tip the box over, so.
By the way, I only have 15 of these at home for Christmas. There's more. That only do me for the month of January.
That's a special one, it's in French.
What did I? They're not all the same, I think.
Yes, I
Holy.
There's 75.
Look.
There's 75.
What is that?
Irvin and Brenda, Kathy, Rudy, and Louise. 120 bucks.
Pretty good.
What else did you think could go wrong? 'Cause I've been trying to cope, but I can't see strong. What else did you think might be true? 'Cause I've been waiting too long